Okay, impact of the recent events and how it impacts our financial and our housing. So first of all, I got to share with you that I am not giving legal advice. I got to make a certain of that. I'm just going to throw out some information and some history and also some things that I've been told by other people that are smarter than me, and also some people that are out there that have done multiple things and made their lives better, because I believe that that history shows success. And then I'm also going to share with you a couple other things about my personal history and why I believe that these are people to listen to and trust. Okay, so yesterday we talked about the impact of on interest rates back in 1981. And it was really amazing to me how many of you didn't realize that the rates were so high in 1981. When I mentioned between 16 and 18%, the reaction was over the top. I mean, people were all across the board just saying, oh my gosh, how can we even consider that when we're now down in the fours, and we're devastated when it bumps to 4.5 like it did last Thursday. But just to let you know, it went back down to 3.5 this week when my other clients locked their loan. So the main thing is that I want to get out some history so that way you can, again, hopefully spread this to other people, so that yes, we have impacts that are happening, and yes, this is something, as we mentioned, that every single person is being touched and affected by. But I don't want it to be something that you are fearful and paralyzed with fear. Hopefully some of this stuff will resonate with you, and as we get this out to other people, it will resonate with them, so we can start having intelligent conversations, not just conversations about oh my word, what's on the news now. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to bring up was that we had a savings and loan crisis in 1982. Now, when the savings and loan crisis happened, we had a lot of people that lost their homes, primarily because savings and loans were not having the same regulations as we have in place right now. And they ended up foreclosing on homes and had sort of like a mortgage meltdown, sort of similar to what we were experiencing in 2006 through 2008, where there was consumer confidence and it hit another recession, and we ended up having a lot of people that lost their homes. Well, that actually happened in 1982. So as it was moving forward, and I was practicing real estate when all of the loans that were coming into place with the pick-a-pays and the mortgages and the adjustable rate mortgages were happening, I really believed that we were going to have a similar situation that happened in 1982. And I can remember walking through this with my mom. So that was one of the reasons why I really took a hiatus from doing a lot of real estate. And I ended up doing other things that made it work to where I was in the industry, but at the same time, I wasn't giving the same attention to it as far as putting a lot of people in houses. I didn't believe in what the loans were doing. I didn't believe in the pricing that was there. And so the few families that actually purchased homes, I actually worked with more people selling homes than I did buying homes, just because I didn't want to put people into those funky loans. So but again, we made it through that. So again, there was a lot of financial things that happened out of that, but at the same time, things still moved forward and people have still recovered. And yes, we had a lot of challenges that came out of that, but I want you to think about, did it move forward, and were other things put in place to actually mitigate that? And the answer is yes. So unfortunately, we don't have a crystal ball as to what's going on right now. But at the same time, I want you to know that they are putting plans in place, and they're trying to work plans to where they're going to offset some of this. So a couple things I want to touch on. Stock market is bumping all around the board right now. I personally don't do a lot with the stock market, so I'm not giving stock advice, but I will tell you that what I'm personally doing is I have a retirement fund that is in a mutual fund, and I believe in what's called dollar cost averaging. So when the cost is down, I get benefit. When the cost is up, it costs me more to buy the same things. So anybody that has their money in retirement right now, if you follow the dollar cost averaging, I want you to understand that if you don't need it, then it's not something to be too concerned about right this moment, because everybody that is talking about this, including the gentleman that I spoke to just this morning before doing this video for you, is he's saying that this is going to be, we will see a recovery. Now, depending upon how quickly the recovery happens will determine what ends up happening as far as the stocks are concerned. But don't freak out. It's not the end of the world. As long as you don't have to sell it, don't sell it. As long as you're in a position to where you're doing okay, then keep going and do okay. Okay, so I want to just reiterate that. But back in the 2000s, we had another scenario where the stock market did take a dive and a crash too. And again, because people reacted, they lost a lot of money. Now, there are certain things that are put in place right now. As a matter of fact, they're no longer allowing day traders to be on the floor. It's computer generated. So we talked about the pressure reliefs. There are pressure relief valves in place now to where we're hopefully not going to see major catastrophic things happening in that regard. The saying is right now, according to the industry, that they believe the stocks might go down even more. But unless you're actively playing in the stock market and you know what you're doing, then you know what? Leave it up to the big boys. If you're in a scenario where your retirement's in a mutual fund, don't worry about it. As long as it's covered in multiple things, then you should be perfectly fine as the time goes. So I wanted to cover that. Another thing that's happening right now is people are really concerned about whether they can make their mortgage payments, whether they can make their house payments, whether they can make their rent payments. So here's something I want you to think about, is starting to have the discussion right away. If you're in a position to where you are impacted with this and it's impacting you financially to the point where you're having a really strong drain, reach out to whoever it is that you are paying your rent to, as an example. Reach out to them. As a matter of fact, if you're having a mortgage situation, reach out to your mortgage person. They're talking about deferring payments, but I'm going to tell you, please do not just do this as an automatic knee-jerk reaction. If you can pay your house payment, pay your house payment. If you absolutely need that deferment, then maybe consider it. But understand that they are paying attention to this. And if there's ever a situation where you really get in trouble, it's important that you actually have access to other resources that are available to you. So mainly I want you to know is that history has happened. We are going through this. Nobody has a crystal ball, but being calm, having a plan, putting a plan in place, and acting, not reacting, and listening to people that are smarter than myself and others is what's going to make this happen for you in a better situation. Nobody likes what's happening. I don't either. But at the same time, I understand right now that every single thing that I put in place right now is only going to help me be better in the future. And remember our little saying, 4 quarters or 100 pennies. Gather the 4 steadfast people that are near you, that you know, you trust, you respect, that are going to be there to support you. You are not alone. Get a community. Do not isolate. You can have social distancing without isolation. This is not what it's about. To put on uplifting things on your TVs, on your Roku, on your videos, on whatever it is. Turn off the news. And also, again, we talked about 4 quarters and 100 pennies. Pay attention to the 4 quarters. Don't pay attention to the 100 pennies. We don't need 100 people telling us all sorts of different reactions and actions and things like that they're taking in the wake of all this stuff. So I'm Krista, OSC Real Estate Services. We're here to help you see your dreams come true. We're also here to try and be a sounding board. You are welcome to give me a call, 805-620-7355, or also email me, callkrista@gmail.com. We want to make certain that we are here to support you in ways that you need supported. Also, just if you know, we have a few more of these pens well, they're not pens, actually. They're the spray hand sanitizers. We had over 1,000 of them. We distributed well over to 200 households, plenty of them for them. They are refillable. So email me if you'd like some, and we'll figure out a way to get it to you. As always, be safe, be sane, and have an amazingly blessed day. Bye.